If I may, I'm now going to arrive with a tree in your clearing. And because of my acting background, this is a bit deliberately waiting for Godot-esque, a bit existential. I'm going to shake your tree to see which storytelling apples fall out. How do you like these apples? And this is where you've been kind enough to have thought about 4 things that have shaped you, Tony Rice, 3 things that inspire you, and then 2 things that never fail to grab your attention. And when we get there, I'll talk about squirrels or our monsters of distraction. And then the 1 is a quirky or unusual fact about you, Tony, that we couldn't possibly know about you until you tell us. So over to you to shape the canopy of your tree as you see fit. So first of all, just to reassure you, it's not a memory test. So the first thing is 4 things that have shaped you, first of all.
Right. Number 1 is definitely, it's a bit, in a sad way, a sad story, but it's not actually, because it really shaped a certain part of my life, was actually my father's passing. We're talking 1976, 1977, where we knew he had cancer, and Mum's decision was not to tell him. And obviously, seeing the progression of someone on the decline and going through that, and bearing in mind in those days there was no chemotherapy or anything like that, so it was a bit raw. It was really the funeral day, which there's 3 aspects to it, which was very interesting. The first aspect was, obviously, everyone comes around your house before you go on the travel up to the cremation, because my father was cremated. And it was, obviously, the house is busy. And my uncle, my father's oldest brother, pulled me in the kitchen. Because at the time, there was just me, my mum and my sister, because we were a small family. But my dad had 11 other siblings. So there was quite a lot of bodies about. And he pulled me in the kitchen and just says, right, you are man of the house now. You are man of the house, and you have to look after your mum and sister. And I was 14, 15 at the time. And it was like, right. And that was I saw like a dawning of going from young teenager to being a man. So there was a bit of a skip in my own mind over the years. Then the second part was, as we were just getting in, go in the cars, Mum shut the door. And I think my mother did this for herself more than for us. But she just turned around and said, we as a family do not cry today, because all these are going to collapse. They're going to fall around you, and you're there to support. So that sort of like, that particular was so intense. It sort of instilled my caring for other people. Yes. We were a caring family, but really cared that. And so at the funeral, she was so right, because I was sat next to my oldest uncle, my dad's older brother. He was crying on my mum's shoulder. His youngest brother was crying on my mum's shoulder. And me and my sister are looking at each other and looking down the line. And all his family are absolutely collapsing everywhere, proper. And obviously grieving and stuff like that. But in between them 2 sections, the travel up, there's, you probably know it, Chris, Acklam Road, where it's a big road that goes out of Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
And the cremation centre it's out on Acklam Road. And we were travelling up. Well, just prior to that, there's a little bit of a shopping centre, a little bit of the Acklam shops. And it's quite a busy area because it's got traffic lights and stuff. So it's quite a busy junction. And as we were going through, I was looking, and it was really busy. And as a 15-year-old boy, I was looking out the window and thinking to myself, you do not realise my dad's died. We're going to cremate my dad. Why is not anybody really taking any notice? And that was where I understood that, in hindsight now, it's the third of the world love you, the third of the world would listen to you, but the other third of the world couldn't care less about you. It's that moment. Obviously, hindsight, I see that. But in that particular moment, when I was looking out the window in the car, in the funeral car, an old man was walking, just simply stopped, took his flat cap off and bowed. And that generational thing of things were before I was born and really resonated with me. And it was such an humbling position of seeing one person who had no idea who my dad actually showing respect and bowing. And that showed me, and as years to come, that connotation was, no matter what's happened in your life, there's always somebody there to love you, to care for you. And no matter how hard life is or how it becomes, if you look around, there'll always be somebody there. As long as you're a little bit open to it and a little bit timid, somebody will be always there to help you. And that partly, as in this conversation, talking to you the other week, it sort of resonated that little, it came back to me. And I thought, you know what, that was probably the pebble in the water with the ripples coming out. You'll always hear me say that, the pebble in the water and the ripples ripple,
Yes.
because what you see or what you do ripples out. And cause so now that man who I never ever knew showed me that there's always somebody there. There's always somebody there to help you and care for you through your situation, which, to be honest with you, through my life, I've always had people there to prop us up when things have got a little bit tough. And and I think that's one of the core elements within the academy of what I've tried to instill in everybody and show that this has got to be a place where everyone feels, because we all need it. Yes. And as everybody knows, we all love a arm round us, and somebody telling us they love us.